Welcome back, trainers. So we're going to be going over Slowpoke and Slowbro in PvP, specifically in the Rainbow Cup. But first, I want to say thank you to everybody for helping me get to 125,000 subscribers. This is a pretty big milestone for me. We're almost to 200,000, not quite. It took me almost a year to get 25,000 from my 100,000 points, so we'll see how long it takes. But I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart, all of my supporters over on Patreon, and everybody who's ever donated to my channel and helped me continue to bring the channel up. So really appreciate that to everybody. Now, I'm going to be completely maxing out this lucky Slowpoke here, and just disregard the name. I changed it. That's not a concern here. But I wanted to max this out for some time just because I wanted to have a max Slowpoke. Because, well, Poke-AK, poke, and anyways, so if you're wondering, well, is Slowbro even good for the Rainbow Cup? I'm going to tell you this right now. You may have not heard the best things about it, but I have hope in the lesser of these Pokemon, the less of the meta, I guess you would call it. Slowpoke is going to be way down there. And some might even call it the superior version of Slowbro, but personally I do not think that that's going to be the case here, as we can see their stats side by side. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, all I have to do is go over to PvP Poke to see exactly where it's going to be performing and excelling, that's true, but I like to take these Pokemon and go into the battles and experience it firsthand, and that's what we're going to do here after we power it up. So if we take a look at Slowbro, it's going to have a max attack of 177, defense 180, and stamina 216. Then if we take a look at Slowpoke, it's going to be sitting at 109 attack, 98 defense, and then 207 stamina. So the stamina is looking okay. The defense is not so hot, as well as the attack. As you can see, Slowbro is going to be far more superior, but Slowpoke will be able to be completely maxed out at level 40. And from personal experience, I'm going to tell you, it's not looking so hot. Let's just say that. It's good Pokemon, depending on the circumstances here. We will go over a few simulators, I suppose, on PvP Poke, as well as take a look at some of these battles going up against some people on Twitter that I requested to send me some battles. So starting it off, something that you may not see all the time is going to be Entei here. So the Slowpoke is actually going to be performing quite nicely, seeing that it's going to be resisting the fire moves, obviously. And you're going to notice throughout these PvP battles that I'm not going to be shielding up in situations and where I should, just so I can see how well it's going to be able to take those hits. Now, taking a look at both of their moves, we have Slowbro to the left and Slowpoke to the right. They both have the same quick moves. And then we look down at the charge moves, both of them have Psychic, alright? And then if we go down another one, we see Slowbro has Ice Beam and Water Pulse. And then for Slowpoke, it's going to have Psyshock and Water Pulse. So both of them can learn the same moves, except for the Ice Beam and Psyshock. If you are going to be running the Slowpoke, you definitely want to go with the Psyshock for sure. It's going to be able to continuously happen and spam and get up a little faster than Psychic. Now, you could run Water Gun on both of these Pokemon, but I will highly urge you to go with Confusion. That's going to be doing quite a bit of damage, as well as decent energy gain, especially if you're going up against possibly Venusaurs, Ivysaurs. You're going to be able to hurt them quite significantly. And other than that, on the Slowbro, you probably want to go with Ice Beam and Water Pulse, but personally I go with Ice Beam and Psychic. Alright, so over here on PvP Poke, we're going to go ahead and use Slowpoke going up against Quagsire, seeing that that's going to be something a lot of people are going to be using. So I'm going to go with Confusion, Psyshock, and Water Pulse on the Slowpoke, and for the Quagsire, we're going to go Mud Shot, Sludge Bomb, and Stone Edge here. No shield scenario. Let's go ahead and see what we have going on. So the Quagsire is going to be winning with that Stone Edge and then the Sludge Bomb. And it's going to be decently close. Pretty close. Alright, now let's go ahead and switch up this situation here to 2 shields and see what we have going on. Slowpoke will be able to win here. Obviously, both of them are going to be using both shields. And it's going to be winning with 21 HP, depending on the IVs of your Pokemon there. Alright, now going up against Venusaur here, there's going to be a few different situations in which you need to take note of. And then we're going to go Slowbro, so you can see the different variables and performance they can do and bring to the table here. So we're going to go Vine Whip, Frenzy Plant, and Sludge Bomb, and then the same moveset, 2 shields to see what we have going on. Slowpoke does win significantly here. Now let's go ahead and go with the no shield situation. See what we have. Venusaur is going to win because it can just get to that Frenzy Plant so fast, right? Now, we have Slowpoke up against Venusaur, something you're going to be seeing obviously on pretty much everybody's team. Now let's go ahead and see what we have with Slowbro. Okay, we're gonna go Confusion, Psychic. Yeah, we'll run my set. Alright, so let me give you the explanation as to why I would pick Psychic over Water Pulse. I like Psychic because if you're in a, it's not a mirror match, but if you're going up against an Azumarill, you will be able to hit it fairly hard. If you have Ice Beam and Water Pulse, you're basically relying on your Confusion. Yes, Water Pulse is going to help you do super effective damage to those fire types, but let's be realistic. In the Rainbow Cup, what fire are you going to see here? You're going to see possibly Magcargo, and then Charizard obviously being one of the highest ones on the list. And yeah, that's pretty much it regarding the fire types. So Water Pulse, it's not looking like something you really need. This is just me in my personal experience for these battles. All right, so going up against the Venusaur here, let's see what we have. Venusaur will be winning in the no shield scenario. Let's go ahead and put on 2 shields and see what happens here. We already know Slowbro is going to win this. Slowbro does win hard, and it doesn't even have to get off a charge move. Okay, so it just shields one time, that Frenzy Plant, and then it will be able to finish it off with Confusions, and then you have energy stored for the next Pokemon, so take note of that. Very good. I don't know why people are sleeping on Slowbro, but it works great, guys. Really love this Pokemon, and happy to see it's actually up here for some sort of relevancy. And also take note that these battles were a bit laggy. I don't know what's going on. For the past day and a half or so, I've been receiving quite a bit of lag over long distance battles, and also shout out to everybody that I did go up against. Appreciate those battles. So I said there's going to be a few different variables regarding Venusaur, so we did the Vine Whip. Now let's go ahead and talk about Razor Leaf. Now this is not going to be getting you to Frenzy Plant or Sludge Bomb that fast, but you will be dealing so much damage to the water, and possibly water and ground type like Quagsire, that they won't even know what hit them before they're out, right? So the Slowpoke and Slowbro did fairly well regarding the shield scenarios. Let's go ahead and see no shields and then do shields. So it is going to be somewhat of a tie. The Venusaur and the Slowpoke are going to be knocked out at the same time here. And the Slowpoke did get off a Psyshock, while the Venusaur didn't even get off a charge move, but apparently they're knocking each other out. Now let's go ahead and go to shields here. See what we have going on. So the Venusaur will be able to win, shielding up the Psyshock and then finishing off the Slowpoke with Razor Leaves, as well as keeping that energy. As you can see, it's almost a Frenzy Plant and Sludge Bomb for the next Pokemon with a little bit less than half health. Alright, so that's Slowpoke. Now let's go with Slowbro and see how that works out, because it does have a little bit more bulk compared to Slowpoke. Slowpoke does have more stamina, but I mean, yeah, that's stamina. And the defense and the attack really do matter. So we're going to go with Confusion, Psychic, and Ice Beam up against the Razor Leaf Venusaur. Let's go no shields first to see what happens there. The Venusaur will be destroying it. Nobody gets off a charge, and the Frenzy Planet is almost ready. As you can see, the Slowbro was just about ready to hit that Ice Beam, depending on the situation you may have, and then forcing them to use a shield. But in this scenario, we're looking at a no shield on the Venusaur end, and as well as having energy for the next Pokemon. So when it comes down to Razor Leaf, you need to look out. It is going to be a bit of a risk running that, seeing that you're not going to be able to get to your Frenzy Plant or Sludge Bomb as quick, but it will, like we said, destroy those water and ground type Pokemon. Now let's go ahead and go 2 shields with the Slowbro. Yeah, it's still going down. Razor Leaf, it's just, there's no running. You cannot block the quick moves, and it's just going to be looking all bad for you. But if you were able to switch and, you know, fix the situation, if you saw the Razor Leaf was there, maybe throw in your Charizard or whatever else you have to counter it, possibly a Beedrill or a Fortress or even a Scizor. Those things can combat that Razor Leaf, as well as a few other type Pokemon, but we're not going to go over all the scenarios. So there you have it, going up against that Razor Leaf. You better look out. Slowbro can't take it, as well as any other water types really can't take that Razor Leaf. Alright, so let's go ahead and see how Slowbro performs up against Azumarill, and then we'll check out Slowpoke up against Azumarill. So the Azumarill will be going with Bubble, Play Rough, and Ice Beam, and we have the same set on the Slowbro here. We're going to go 2 shield scenario. The Slowbro will be able to win barely, as you can see there. Let's go ahead and go no shield scenario. So the Play Rough, take note, will hurt Slowbro, but on the other hand, the Psychic is going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage as well. The Azumarill will be winning barely there. So I'm quite interested. Let's go 1 shield scenario here. Slowbro will be able to take that win. and finish off with not quite a bit of health, but enough to get at least a couple confusion off onto the next opponent. All right, so now we have Slowpoke here. See how well this does going up against it. So we definitely do not want 2 psychic moves. We're going to go Water Pulse, and that's something you definitely do not want to use going up against Azumarill here. So that's a 1 shield scenario. Let's go ahead and go 2 shields here, and then we'll go 0. Slowpoke will be winning with 1 HP and ready to get off a Psyshock. Okay, so not the best situation, seeing that you're using both of those shields, but so is the Azumarill. So at least it can put up a fight up against one of the tankiest here. And then we go with the no shield scenario, and the Azumarill is winning. But it's not by a long shot. It's not like it has a bunch of energy charged up for the next Pokemon. So it's not a horrible situation, but it's not looking great. Something you need to look out for your Slowbro and Slowpokes is going to be Scizor and Fortress, which will be doing massive damage to it, as well as even Beedrill with Bug Bite Legacy. Poison Jab will be doing an okay amount of damage, but it will be able to get to X-Scissor, which does super effective to your Psychic type Slowbro and Slowpoke, so that is something to take note of. And obviously, the Electric types, those are going to be destroying it as well. You have Lanturns, you have Magnetons, possibly if you have a nice Legacy. You have the Raichu if you do have the Legacy. Even non-Legacies are going to be able to take down those Slowbros and Slowpokes. But shall we check that out? See how well it does going up against Raichu. So we have Slowpoke pulled up here, and we have Thundershock, Wild Charge, and Thunder Punch. No shield scenario. It's destroying it because, well, it's water type. That's okay. Let's go ahead and see how well the Confusions can hold up if it does block those electric moves here. Alright, this is Slowpoke, and it's using 2 shields, and so is the Raichu. And the Raichu doesn't have much energy for the next Pokemon, and not much health whatsoever. So, alright, I mean, it's looking okay here. That's Slowpoke. Let's go ahead and go with Slowbro, and see how well that does up against it. So it has Confusion, Psychic, and Ice Beam, 2 shield scenario. Let's go. And the Slowbro is absolutely demolishing it. So do you see here? And we're going to come up to the conclusion that I have at this point. What do you want, Slowbro or Slowpoke? All right, so for the final conclusion here, what do you want to use if you decide to go with either one of these, Slowpoke or Slowbro? We have the Slowpoke sitting at 173 HP. See, that stamina is shining here at completely maxed out level 40. We do have Confusion, Psyshock, and Water Pulse. And then if we go over to my Slowbro, it's going to be sitting at 139 HP, Confusion, Ice Beam, and Psychic. Now, what's the difference that we've been over? Well, the Slowbro is going to be doing a little bit more damage. With that Confusion, it does hurt. You can get to Ice Beam fairly fast. Psychic is going to be dealing massive damage if they do not decide to shield, or if they have no more shields left. Now, if we look at the Slowpoke, it's going to be able to get to Psyshock, do a decent amount of damage, as well as that Confusion. Water Pulse for a bit of coverage against neutral or super effective fires. And this is my thoughts here, straight up, guys. You're going to want to go with Slowbro. You want to go with Slowbro. The thought of using Slowpoke is amazing. It's quite fun to use like something that's off, the meta here. And it's a Slowpoke, for goodness sake. Who doesn't want to use that? I can't wait till it comes out shining. Wowie wow. But the Slowbro, it's just doing more damage, guys. Simple as that. It's just, even with that stamina boost on the Slowpoke, it's not making up for the loss of the defense and the attack. The attack is so much better on the Slowbro. You're better off using this, and that is it. Some might say that this one here is going to be a bit of a better option if you have the Stardust to invest in it. But personally, I don't think it's worth that dust. I really don't think it is. I'm happy I have it, and I don't really regret it. I was at first when I first maxed it out, but since I've been out back grinding and I got my dust back up, it's whatever. And now it's in the collection. And if I think of the future, now I have a maxed out Slowpoke for possibly a Mega Slowbro if I do decide to evolve it, and then whenever Megas come out, but you know how that goes. But yeah, final thoughts, Slowbro is what you want to go with. Is it something you want to put on your team? Well, I'm going to recommend it, but I want to tell you this. You may want to test it out before you just throw it into your team, replace something that you have, and just go into battle with it. And if it doesn't perform well, you're like, well, this thing actually sucks. I don't really like it. Well, you have to know how to use it in what specific situation. And it's going to be a lot better if you do see your opponent's team of 6 and you show them yours, so you know how to prepare going into that battle, knowing what threats are going to be there before you just throw this thing in, because you will have those bug types super effective, you will have those electric super effective, you will have those water types that will be able to just kind of, I wouldn't say wall you, because you're not really hitting them up with water moves here unless you go with Ice Beam, Confusion, neutral damage to water, and as well as the Azumarill, which is going to be water and fairy type. And Psychic will be able to hit it pretty hard if you had energy stored up. You throw your Slowbro into the battle, they have no more shields left, the Azumarill has a little bit more than half health, you hit him up with Psychic, it's almost going to take him out. It really will. It does perform very nice. Going up against a Charizard, that thing cannot take the confusions well at all, and then you can just hit him up with Ice Beam, doing a decent amount of damage, and simple as that. It takes the Blast Burn, you know, it hurts. Everything that takes the Blast Burn hurts, right? And Slowbro is no exception. So I've personally been running the Slowbro ever since the Rainbow Cup has been announced to see how well it performs, and honestly I really like it, like I've said, and it seems like a solid option, right? So hopefully that helped clear up the air for you on whether or not you should be using Slowbro or Slowpoke. Slowbro is clearly going to be the better option, personally, in my opinion, and I do think it will excel in the Rainbow Cup as the meta starts forming more and more. Thank you for watching, trainers. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll catch you all next time.